What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. It is Wednesday, June 21st, 2023, year of our Lord. We are in the building. Shout out to my dog, Cliff. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Shout out to everybody that tapped in. Great day. Absolutely great day. I really do believe that it's going to be a phenomenal day today. Let's do a little bit of the housekeeping. So first and foremost, Fa Brown says, yo, Anton, happy born day, Cliff. Mine's is tomorrow. I'll be 23. Don't think of it as we're getting old. Think of it as we're getting better. I see my people out there in Duval County, all of that other type of stuff. What up? Look out below. Kojak, Azriel, Larry Walker, Aaron B. All of my people is in the building. What up, though? What up, friends and family? What up, though, is a word that we say down here in Detroit. So shout out to all of my people out here in the building. I am so excited, man. I am genuinely excited. And the reason why I'm genuinely excited is because very rarely do we get this opportunity to just be able to kick it with each other, add value into your life. I'm very blessed and fortunate. Blessed because I put in the work to be able to have this conversation with y'all, but fortunate that you guys are here with me having this conversation right here, right now. And I would not rather be anywhere except with you guys. You don't know how much of a blessing it is to be able to sit here and have a conversation with y'all and add value into your life. A lot of people don't get that. You know, we take it for granted a lot of times because we just so immersed in what it is that we doing, but it humbles me. The humility comes from being able to add value into your life. Shout out to Old Country Boy. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly also. I mean, a lot of y'all are on your way to work. Some people is driving in the truck. Some people are already at work, and I'm helping them get through a couple hours of their day in a cubicle, and I can take you away and be able to add value into your life. It's a blessing. It is a blessing. It is a blessing to be able to kick it with y'all and speak with y'all and add value into your life. And so I don't take it for granted at all. I don't. I don't even look at the camera when I'm talking. I'm looking at everything that y'all typing up on the TV. I got the TV right in front of the camera, so it may be looking like I'm looking at the camera, but I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at every avatar. Every time y'all say what up, every time y'all throw a super chat, every time you say I appreciate you, shout out to Big Swift 100, Mary Alazo. It is. It's super. I'm super blessed. I'm incredibly blessed. Some of y'all are probably housewives and you might be taking your kids to school and then you might be doing a little bit of housework, cleaning up. Shout out to Jamal Williams. Nisi says, I can't wait for our annual New York meetup. What up, Nisi? You can see it in my glasses, Pat Fobs. Yeah, I got these specs don't have the, the thing to where it doesn't reflect. But I'm very blessed. I'm thankful. John Wick says he's the one in the cubicle. Shout out to Natasha Waving. I'm thankful to be able to kick it with y'all every day. So before we get started with the show and even get into the housekeeping, I just want to say thank y'all for riding out with me every day. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you get that Tiege Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That week, Sam the guy says, future house husband here. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Shout out to Tiege Hanley. I appreciate y'all. If y'all rocking with any other Tiege pack, you need to tap out of that and get into what it is that we got going on over here. So I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock out with Tiege Hanley. Also, I am working feverishly to get up that template for y'all inside of the Patreon. So within the next couple days, that should be up. So if you're not a bag chaser, if you're not a Patreon member, you're missing out. You're missing out on future opportunities, future funding for your business possibly. Shout out to France. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. You're missing out on a network of people. If you are a Patreon member and you're not participating in the Discord, you're missing out on your network of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. You're missing out on and the next meetup that we're going to be kicking it. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Self-Made Forever. I'm going to be reading that also. You know what I also realized before we get into the rest of the housekeeping? I also realized that there's a lot of people that be stealing my talking points, stealing my content. Hey, remember when I was breaking down for y'all the whole real estate market and why you shouldn't invest in Florida and all of this other type of stuff? I've seen no less than 5 content creators, some of them big, some of them not as big, but I've seen no less than 5 content creators somehow, some way come to the conclusion that they need to divest and get out of Florida as far as their portfolio and get rid of their homes. Right after I started giving my thoughts, I've even had several people hit me up in the DMs that's pretty prominent that have their own YouTube channels and they give advice on investments in real estate, hit me up and pick my brain about what my thoughts were when it came to investing in real estate in Florida and in the South specifically. We influential over here. They not going to say it out loud. They not going to give me my credit. I get it. When I go and I like my dog, all things real. I think it was All Things Real. When I go when I get insight or whatever, I give credit to the people that I'm referencing, and then I give my own insight and input on top of it. They're not gonna give me my credit. So many people steal my investment strategies. They steal my talking points. Some of y'all favorite content creators is a part of their Patreon. I won't say who they are. They're gonna have to, say who they are themselves. We got a whole tribe of people that's doing good shit, and they out here killing it. So shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the Patreon members. Shout out to all of the new Patreon members. We got at least 25 new people signed up yesterday. So shout out. I'm telling you, it's a great group of people and it's some great advice and it's a great insight in there. Somebody said, what brokerage do I recommend? They're not paying me for that, but I'm going to say that I recommend Fidelity. It's a lot of people that's stealing my shit. A lot of people still, but I'm cool with it. As long as they steal the good stuff and they implement it into their life, I'm with it. They gonna hate on you on the other side, but they trying to figure out how it is that you do what you do. And so leaders lead, and that's how we're gonna continue to rock out. Also, I am going to be live streaming tonight, both on Instagram first, so it's gonna be 2 different live streams, and then I'm gonna be live streaming on the Anton Daniels channel for our weekly Wednesday night live stream. So that's going to be lit because, I'm going to be cooking up on that. But I'm going live with another person that y'all might know or might not know. But I'm going live on Instagram tonight. So if y'all not following me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of those links is down in the description for you to be able to do so. I'm going to be dropping more content and going live more often on Instagram, so y'all might want to tap in. And then I'm going to be going live on the Anton Daniels channel. So make sure that y'all tune in. Make sure y'all sharing all of the stuff that we doing. My Instagram name is in the description. It's called One Anton Daniels. It got the blue check mark next to it. If you see anybody else that's pretending to be me, it's not me. All right. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. Let me read some of the early super chats, and then we're going to get started with the show. Shout out to my dog, Cliff Williams. Says, Juan Guan, big bro. It's my birthday. Shout out to It's My Birthday, Cliff. Cliff, happy birthday, my 36-year-old brethren. Says, I worked till 11 last night, went home to sleep. My wife woke me up and says she sucked the soul out of her body and then went back to bed. I'm back at it for 5:30 every day. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Shout out to Cliff Williams, my guy. I'm going to have to call you later on today. I'm going to kick it with you, Cliff. Shout out to you. Shout out to Old Country Boy. I have a Patreon video request. Send it to me in the Patreon. Message me in the Patreon. Y'all know about the pop, right? The pop came from yesterday for those of y'all that didn't tune in yesterday. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into it. Shout out to Old Country Boy. Send that to me in the Patreon. Shout out to my dog, France. France also says, I'm recently divorced and been subscribed to your MMS channel since it was called After Hours. A lot of people ain't used to that. You gave some game inside of the Patreon and helped me become a better version of myself. Shout out to you. Shout out to my dog, France. I appreciate you, big dog. In the building, cooking up. Also, shout out to Self-Made Forever. Says, I sent the super chat V4 for the show. Did you get it? V4 before the show. Let me see if I can see that super chat, Self-Made Forever. I got the Cliff Williams super chat. I don't see no other super chats before the show. That's all I see, Self-Made. I apologize, but I did give you that, big dog. I appreciate you. And if you did send a super chat, thank you, my friend. Let me also give a shout out to the Cash Apps. Cedric said, keep up the great work. I appreciate you, Cedric. Mike, that dude, is in the building. I appreciate you. Fantasia sent me $12 for the school for IT in August. Thank you. Shout out to Fantasia. I appreciate you, love. You are the greatest. Can we get started with the show? Shout out to Self-Made Forever. Self-Made, you know I love you no matter what, whether you send a super chat or not, my guy. You my dog forever. Again, Old Country Boy says Anton Pop Daniels. I told y'all send $2, anything between $1 and $5 get you the pop. Anything between, and I'm not even gonna create that as a soundbite. I'm gonna just give you the straight up pop. Anything between $1 and $5, you get the custom pop. Every pop is unique for you. We appreciate you. We love you. And then you get all of the other laugh tracks. If you send anything more than that, you know we kicking it. You know we rocking out. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all absolutely awesome. Let's get into the show. The first thing, and I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. The first thing that I want to talk about is divorce. Dame says the Patreon has been amazing this month. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. The link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We got a lot to go over today. I want to review a clip from a recent podcast that Umar Johnson has been on. I heard Dame Dash is going to be in Detroit this weekend. I'm working feverishly to see if I can get that interview exclusively for the Patreon members. I'm going to keep y'all up to date on that. I pulled some strings in order to try to get Dame. So I'm going to see how that play out. Because he got a movie releasing with some people he shot a movie with that I'm connected with, and we're going to work that out. We got the Umar Johnson thing. I want to talk about foreclosures because foreclosures are absolutely exploding. Shout out to Brock. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I want to talk about the passport bros because it's a lot of African-American passport bros over in the Philippines going broke. I told you a lame is a lame no matter where they go. But before we get into that, because we got a lot to cover today, I don't have a time frame by which I have to be done. We're going to do a full show. I want to talk about divorce because I see a lot of content from people thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And let me be the first to tell you that I've coached a lot of people. I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime. I've convinced a lot of people that they don't need to be out here in these streets because it is not for you. Let me break it down like this a little bit, right? Because I want to give you a little bit of an insight. I want to break down the problem, and then I'm going to give you the solution. But it always comes back down to the money. First things first, when people get divorced, they fuck up the money. When people get divorced, you fuck up the money. And when the money messed up, nobody is happy. Divorce is a solution for broken people that don't know how to look at things long term. Divorce is a solution for broken people that don't know how to look at things long term. It is supposed to be the final solution. It is supposed to be the thing that you cannot come back from. You split your assets, and when you split your assets, you become weaker, and it's easier for the enemy to infiltrate. When you see people that are hanging out with people that are not best for them, influencing them to do things that they wouldn't normally do, all they're doing is setting you up for failure. When you think that grass is greener on the other side, I'm telling you that it's crabgrass. It's an illusion. Everybody wants to be something that they're not, and they want to jump into something, and they don't even understand what they're getting themselves into. You trying to swim on a deep end, and I'm telling you that you're going to drown. Best case scenario, you're going to be going underwater, going all the way to the bottom, and then tipping your feet up to the top, and your makeup is going to bleed. You know what I'm saying? But there is nothing, nobody wins in a divorce. One of the reasons why people find themselves in a situation where they don't believe that they can endure. We back. Don't worry about it. We still cooking. We're still cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. We still here. It's cool. We good. Just a little bit of buffering on the end of YouTube, but we good. Don't worry about it. We good. We gonna get this message out. We gonna cook up on this live stream. We cooking. Too many people are looking to go into a relationship in order for them to be made whole. Ladies, if you are going into a relationship and you are looking for a man to then retire you or fix you, you are going into it the wrong way. You are going to fail miserably. If you are looking for somebody to retire you and take care of you so that you don't have to, now it doesn't mean that it may not happen. It doesn't mean that you won't find a situation or get into a situation where, you would then be able to be a housewife or be able to take care of the kids or be able to focus like that. If you're looking for somebody to fix you, you are going to be absolutely, positively miserable as a result of it. Okay? I see you, Self-Made. I'm going to read that super chat. I'm going to read Old Country shortly. I keep hearing people say stuff. It was this clip on Instagram and a TikTok, and it was basically this white lady, and she was saying, marriage is not always going to be 50-50. When I tap in and I kick it with my husband, and sometimes I ask him, and this is what they do every day. Sometimes I ask him, where are you at today? And some days he says, I'm only at 30%. So that means I know that I got to get my 70%. It's not what marriage is. Marriage is not supposed to be a problem. Marriage is not supposed to be work. Marriage is not supposed to be an issue. Marriage is supposed to be two people combining the best of themselves in order to elevate each other to be even greater than they were had they been apart. Marriage is supposed to be a 100-100. You give me all that you got. I give you all that I got. I'm adding value into your life. You got my back. You add value into my life. You got my back. And then we grow exponentially as a result of it. I can flip and use your credit. Come on, let's bring it back to the money, ladies and gentlemen. It's the part that they don't want to talk about. They only want to talk about the love. But when I say marriage is a business first, they want to disagree with that. Let me flip your credit. Let me increase the threshold by which we would have to then pay additional taxes and go into that next tax burden. Let me figure out how it is that I can utilize what it is that you do great in order to unleash you. Guys, on the flip side, women first go into it looking to get retired. Men then go into it looking to make sure that nobody else has access to their chick. I'm not trying to prevent you from being accessible. I'm trying to unfucking leash you because you got too much in you that I need to utilize in order for us together, because you're largely going to be the beneficiary of the decisions that I make on our behalf. When I make the money, who gonna be spending it? When our net worth explode, who you think gonna be driving the most of the luxury cars? Men are so busy trying to contain and prevent other people from having access to their woman. No, it's a difference between provision and protection. She's supposed to be a reflection of you, so then when she goes out in the public, she can then utilize what's great about her to bring in more resources. My wife kicking it with your wife, and then if it wasn't for our wives connecting with each other, because me and you are so busy working and grinding and hustling, because they have access to each other, because they're building a relationship, because they spend time and they're going in the direction that they're supposed to be going in, because they are both focused and they're both aligned with people that's supposed to be in their network, it then bring me and you together, because otherwise we would have never had access, or we wouldn't even be paying attention to each other. So me and you network effectively, and now we doing business together. A lot of y'all are around the wrong type of people, and just because you married, you got the wrong people around you, then influencing you on doing things that you don't even know how to utilize your marriage effectively to win. Don't you know that overwhelmingly the majority of the interviews that I do, Rita is the one that sets that up, put it together, reach out to the people, make the connection. I just come in and do the work, and then I have my people make sure that they take care of it and execute it and put it out to y'all. Just yesterday, right before the live stream, I'm sitting there and I got my hands like this and I'm praying. And you know what I was praying? God, give me some insight and some information on whether or not I should hit the button and execute this motherfucker on Instagram and YouTube, because I'm trying to balance between going in a different direction and being a better version of myself so that I can really get bigger bags, because there's sponsors and people that's tapping in with me and saying, Anton, you need to evolve. You need to go past going at people. And it's okay to react to the content in order to get more insight and to pour into people, but it's not okay to continue to war with people that's not on your level. And so I'm sitting there and I'm praying, because I'm not too far removed from what it is that I used to do. I'm not too far removed from having that Detroit in me come out. And you know what happened? I got a phone call, and it just so happened to be my wife. And she said, my intuition, I feel like I'm connected to you. What's going on with you? So I told her, because I don't believe in secrets, and I said, man, I don't know what to do. I feel like I really, really need to execute on this, and I just need to end it once and for all. And she's sitting there and she like, yo, you too fucking grown for this, Anton. When you gonna evolve? When you gonna grow up? It's one thing to control the narrative, but if you sitting here telling me, Anton, that you about to make a decision based off of your emotions, that's not even you. Who you let taking you out of your zone? Who you let controlling your emotions? See, I'm human. And so because I'm willing to be open and transparent about how it is that I live my life, I do it so that you can then take advantage of it also, because you're a human also. Right? And then I go into it, had a great fucking day, completely removed myself from it. One small decision could have messed up a huge fucking bag on that other side. Leverage what it is that you have. Look for the good in what it is that you have. Right? I need people to build me up too. The same way that I'm pouring into y'all, I go home and get recharged from the people that surround me. I know how to utilize the best of her in order to get the most out of her, and women want to be used. What am I telling y'all right now? I'm telling you that the problem with most people in relationships, and the reason why you can't get to the bag, and the reason why you don't look at it from a business perspective, is because instead of you looking at how it is that you can leverage the best of a person, you so busy trying to fix somebody. And instead of you being able to come into it whole, you come into it trauma bonding because you don't understand what being in a relationship is. You think somebody is supposed to work for you. Somebody is supposed to work on behalf of you, meaning that they give you what you need in order to be successful, but you're so busy taking that you can't pour into somebody and you think it's somebody else's job in order to fulfill you. That's why you keep seeing women saying, I need him to spend more time with me, because you're not truly taking care of. Listen, let me cook for a minute. You'll spend 2 hours having a conversation with a guy about how it is that he needs to spend more time with you when he right there with you. So instead of you spending that 2 hours really embracing and utilizing it and taking advantage of whatever it is that y'all have going on and showing love and peace and enjoying each other and having sex and putting together things and going over the business things and all of this other type of stuff, you spent that same 2 hours going in and going off and creating a dynamic that's not going to be conducive for what it is that y'all have to do. Spend 98, 99% of your time championing the things that y'all love about each other, instead of spending 98, 99% of your time on the things that you don't like trying to fix somebody. I'm not trying to change you. I'm just trying to take advantage of the thing that's great about you. You will spend 2 hours going off about how it is that he needs to spend more time with you when he right there with you. He right there with you. Now, he's going to not come home an extra hour later. Not that he's doing nothing egregious. It's just that he's going to take the long way home because he's tired of hearing your mouth. And so when you had the opportunity, you fumbled it, but you still got an opportunity to take advantage of it by changing the way that you operate around the people that you value the most. It's not greener on the other side. It's not great. It's not awesome. You're going to fumble the bag. You're going to fuck up your life. And overwhelmingly, statistically speaking, women suffer more after divorce, even if you get half of it. Just telling you. All right? So be careful. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you get yourself into. You're not going to like the results that come along with it. It's going to be an issue. All right? Let me read some of these super chats because I got my guy Self-Made Forever. Self-Made Forever says, AD, BlackRock employee exposes all company secrets due to lack of discipline. He exposed all of it from buying politics to creating the ESG score and controlling the masses. Email already sent. Yeah, I seen that. I plan on doing a special live stream about that probably tomorrow or Friday. Because I'm going to cook on that. And a lot of people don't even know what an ESG score is. It's the reason why Adidas fumbled the bag. But we'll get into that. Shout out to you. All old country boy says all them pop noises got you buffering now. Shout out to the people in the chat. All right, y'all, let's get into it. I got a whole show today. We want to get into Umar Johnson. We want to get into Passport Bros. We want to get into foreclosures. So let's just start here. Foreclosures are exploding inside of the United States of America. I think a lot of people are pivoting and making adjustments. And when they call me crazy, just don't call me broke. When you call me crazy, just don't call me broke. All right, I got a couple different videos I want to skim through really quickly because a lot of people are house poor. Shout out to J Dubs. I'm going to read that shortly. I got to give you the air horn and all of that. Shout out to J Dubs. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat in a minute. Y'all love me. It is going to be gnashing and gnawing at the teeth for people. They are stopping paying their car notes. They stop paying their house notes. Student loans are about to start back. And it is going to be a huge opportunity for the people that have made the adjustments, lowered their lifestyle, and then can take advantage of what's going on out here. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's cook up, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get to some new disturbing economic indicators here. We've followed as closely as we can the housing market on this show because it's so important to the economy. It's so important to all of you and your lives. And let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. We now have home foreclosures rising nationwide. Florida, California, and Texas are apparently in the lead.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Florida, California, Texas. Florida, California, Texas, the places that are talked about the most. Florida is not under siege because of Republican or Democratic policies. They're under siege because of where they're located, because of the habits of the people that are trying to move there. And most people cannot afford, nor do they see what is coming on the horizon over in Florida. It's overinflated. Or even Orlando, which is not even southern Florida, is being bombarded with people that are moving in there that can't afford to be there, but most people jumped in there in order to be able to have a certain payment, and they think that they're going for the weather. Contrary to popular belief, when people move down to Miami and when people move down to Florida or southern Florida and stuff like that, they can't afford to live there. The people that are in Florida, that are native to Florida, can't even afford to live there. California, we already know what the fuck is going over in California. Texas, people think that they're going to find some kind of relief over in Texas. But Texas is being bombarded with a bunch of people that are moving over from California and Florida. Let's continue.
You've got May foreclosure-related filings. That includes default notices, scheduled auctions, bank repossessions, all up 7% from April, 14% from a year ago. Nationwide, you're talking about over 35,000 properties. You also have actual foreclosures up 4% month over month and 5% from a year ago. As I mentioned before, leading the way, you have Florida, California, and Texas. Now, they do sound a note here to keep in mind the context, which is that in spite of the increase, these overall foreclosure rates actually remain about level with where we were pre-pandemic. So part of what happened is you had a lot of forbearance programs during the pandemic. Well, those have now lapsed and now they've gone. So in some ways, you're back to business as usual. However, there's still a lot of reasons to be concerned. Workers' incomes remain below their pre-pandemic highs. Of course, the cost of consumer goods and services remains elevated. That puts workers at a greater risk of falling behind on payments. We've talked here about how credit card debt and other types of debt have surged to all-time highs. And of course, inflation continues to bite into incomes and makes it very difficult to keep up on your house payment. So
I want to share with you this other video now. So you got the basic foundation, right? I want to skim through another video really quickly because I think that he also adds a lot of value.
All right, everyone, we got big problems in the U.S. housing market right now because banks are starting to take people's houses.
And then I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. All right. Thank you to everybody that contributes to the platform. Thank you to everybody that hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you guys.
And the foreclosure filings are surging, with data from Adam Data Solutions showing that foreclosure activity in America spiked in May 2023. In particular, we saw 35,000 houses with foreclosure filings, which was up 14% from a year ago. And my concern is that we're going to continue to see these foreclosure filings in America increase into the second half of 2023 and the first half of 2024 because so many homeowners in America right now are house poor. They're struggling. They can barely afford to pay the monthly payment. And as the recession gets worse and the unemployment rate goes up, we're going to see even more foreclosures hit the U.S. housing market. And that's something that the CEO of Adam Data Solutions agrees with. He sees that there's an upward trajectory in foreclosures that suggests the possibility of continued heightened activity. In addition, foreclosure completions saw their largest monthly increase in the last year.
The one thing about it is that all of these forbearances that happened during the pandemic, basically, they're coming home to roost. Because even when people had, shout out to Lance Brown, even I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly, even when people had the opportunity to make the adjustment, a lot of people then started to move resources that they otherwise would have had allocated to car notes, had allocated to paying credit card bills, and had allocated, more importantly, to also paying their student loans. Now they jumping further into the hole. And the only way in which you can then get out of the hole is to just go through a whole reset. And a lot of people are house poor. When I've been telling y'all for years to stay away from these 30-year mortgages, when I've been telling y'all all throughout the pandemic, listen, don't buy anything, wait till everything chill. They said, well, Anton, but the interest rates are really, really low. And so they got more house than they could afford. And then more importantly, they did it and they justified the decision because the interest rates were low. And we all had predicted, obviously, especially since we knew that inflation was out of control, that the Feds was going to raise rates and then eventually it was going to get to the point that it is now. But the difference is that they bought more house than they can afford just because they said that the interest rates are low. And so instead of balancing that out and getting something that was less than 30% of whatever it was that they were paying income-wise, yes, Anton said don't buy. AE, everybody knows, and I had been saying it. I had used myself as my own example. I said, yo, I'm not buying anything during the pandemic. Why? Prices were out of control. People were paying more than $100,000, $140,000, $200,000 above asking. It was a bidding war. They were going and buying these properties sight unseen. They were getting the properties without even going through an inspection. They were moving out and they were changing their lifestyle, not understanding that a lot of these jobs was going to force them back into the office, or at the very least go through a hybrid schedule. So now you got a bunch of these people that got stuck into a crib doing things that they wasn't supposed to do. They bought more house than they can afford just because they raised the amount that they were going to pay for the house by saying that, well, the interest rates are low, but it still made them house poor because they didn't know how to balance their budget and everything that was going on at that particular time. Now, my Patreon members, I had been putting in the Patreon members my adjustment. And what I was doing was I was buying land. And then I bought land so that I can make sure that I could wait for the lumber prices to go down and for the labor prices to go down. And then I just sat on that land, and now I'm in the process of actually building homes fully cash, no financing whatsoever on the properties that I had bought the land for, right? Because now the houses and the homes that are being sold or that's being listed, because there's still a housing shortage in the supply. So there's still a market for the people that want to buy, and there's still a market for the people that want to sell, but the prices are still overly inflated. And so now I'm giving people the blueprint, and I'm breaking down inside of the Patreon. I'm shooting a video right now. Sabrina will tell you, I told y'all. Why would I get into a bidding war with people for homes that are overinflated just because interest rates are low? It's not free money. You still have to spend it. Just the interest that you paying on it is lower than you would have to now. But instead, you need to make more informed decisions as to how it is that you need to move. It's just like what it is that I was just saying with Florida. See, a few years from now, they're going to say, well, Anton, what the fuck is going on in Florida? Why is everybody moving up? Well, A, they can't afford to live in Florida. B, you're going to have a lot of changes when it comes to the climate within this country. And then C, the inability for you to even get your home insured in Florida. A lot of people don't take into consideration property taxes. They don't take into consideration insurance. They don't take into consideration the true cost of being able to maintain a home, maintenance costs, homeowners association fees, repair costs. The true cost of owning a home, most people don't even know. Most people have no clue of what the true cost is of owning a home. They don't even know the total amount that they're going to pay for that home before they sign on a dotted line of purchasing that home. They don't understand the property taxes that's going to go into it. They don't understand that if you put down, they're so basic. They're so uninformed that they don't even know what private mortgage insurance is and how much more they're going to be paying because they only wanted to put 3.5% down because the going theme is better to own than it is to rent. Well, when you do things out of order, you then become forever a renter because you don't understand how it is that you need to be able to make the decisions that's then going to allow for you to be successful long-term in your asset class. A home is an asset. It's not something that you're supposed to utilize in order to justify bad decisions. Just because you can, or they say that you have the ability to get approved, does not mean that it's a smart decision to do so. It's a lot of things that I want to buy right now. You don't believe me. You don't believe me. You don't believe me? These are decisions this is stuff that me and Rita talk about every single day.
Hello?
Hey, you busy?
No.
Hey, you don't have to go into details or be specific, but when I was talking to you over the last couple of days about money and my budget and all of that other type of stuff, in a general sense, I don't know if you can explain it the way that I can. What have I been saying as far as paying stuff versus hoarding money?
You were saying that you was kind of torn, I guess, because you were saying that you wanted to pay everything off, but then you were saying that you kind of wanted to keep the cash to build the house with.
I wanted to pay certain things, or I wanted to buy certain things, or I wanted to pay certain things off, but I wanted to hoard the cash in order to do what?
Build the house.
Why am I hoarding cash in order to build the house?
So you could pay cash for everything. You don't need a loan.
Thank you. It's a lot of things I want to do. It's a whole lot of things I want to do. I want to pay cash for my Lamborghini. I genuinely want to pay cash for it. When they call me with that allocation, I just want to pay cash for it. But instead, you know what I'm doing? I said, you know what? I'm going to make the sacrifice now because I know that I do not want to finance a house. I don't want to take out any hard money loans. I'm not even used to holding this much cash. So instead, I'm going to make the decision to do the thing that's in my best interest long term instead of that short term joy of whatever it is that I'm going to do. I'll own this home forever. It'll pay for everything. Everything that I'm building, every piece of land that I'm purchasing, everything that I'm setting up over the next 5 years, as far as how many, you got to learn the game. You got to make the sacrifice. I will never, ever have a mortgage in my life. I will never, ever be owned by a bank. I will never, ever be in a position to ever get foreclosed on. You know why? You know why? Because I'm willing to make the sacrifice early. And then here's the beautiful part about it. Shout out to Raphael. I'm going to read that shortly. Not only am I doing it, if y'all watch the vlog that I dropped, it's like an hour long that I dropped on the Anton Daniels channel yesterday. Not only am I playing it this way, because I truly believe in real estate, I just believe in the right real estate. I'm not going to buy it in a depressed area. First rule of real estate is location, location, location. I'm also documenting the process so that I can then put the video inside of the Patreon for y'all to duplicate exactly how I do it. And you don't even need a lot of money to do so. Because I'm learning and then I'm going to make adjustments so that I'm going to give you the pros, the good, the bad, the pros, the cons, the mistakes that I made. That's the reason why I'm building one first. And then we can duplicate the process. And then I can give you the game of how it is that you can do the same thing without having to owe the bank and then pay a fucking 30-year mortgage, paying PMI and all of this other type of stuff. This is the type of the conversations that we having right now, this accountability, this type of stuff that we talking about right now. This is the type of stuff that they don't want you to have a conversation about. You know why? Because then the banks can't make any money as a result of then charging you the fees and then the interest that comes along with being able to service the mortgage. You think that the credit report, I want a man that wants good credit. So you want a man to be able to buy stuff and spend money on things and continue to pour money into a system that you said is against you. Okay, let me continue to play a little bit more of this video. Shout out to the Wealth Building Journey. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly also.
And in particular, in this video, I'm going to show you some of the cities and states where I think the foreclosures are going to get worse and banks are going to take the most homes. But in particular, I think one state is going to get hit really hard by this is Florida, because we're already seeing the foreclosures increase in Florida. If you go on Zillow and you look around Orlando or Kissimmee, you'll see more and more listings like this that say foreclosure on the bottom. And the reason that the foreclosures are going to be bad in Florida is because there's a lot of risky mortgages. There's a lot of bad lending that goes on in Florida. There's a lot of FHA.
And these people keep telling y'all to do FHA loans. They keep telling y'all to take out hard money loans because then you're going to be able to refinance and pay the money back. And you keep getting all of these people that's giving y'all this real estate advice and they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They don't know. They trying to get you to, you know what our culture teaches us? They teach us to flip. they don't teach you to hold. I have not seen any real estate advice from anybody within our culture that's telling y'all to hold. They telling y'all to flip. They trying to show you how to flip, how to anticipate the market, how to buy depressed properties, how to do wholesaling. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but there needs to be more additional insight that allows for you to really make the decision that's going to be in the best interest of not only you, but your kids. They teaching you how to flip. You're going to get caught holding that bad loan and you're going to get fucked up. I'm telling you.
Home buyers who only put 3 to 5% down. There's a lot of investors and second home buyers who are more likely to give up the property in a downturn. And as a result, Florida got hit by foreclosures very hard in 2007. I think they're going to get hit hard again. And I'm going to show some more of that data later in this video. But first,
somebody said, who got $50,000 to put down? It's a lot of people that have $50,000 to put down. Most of the time, the problem with y'all, if we want to just get down to the fundamentals of it, is that y'all have lifestyle creep. You got to get the car note. You got to then get the insurance in order to pay for the car. You got to maintain the car. Then you got to go and live in a space to where, see, they laughed at me because I was living for free 2 doors down from my parents when my dad was the maintenance guy at an apartment complex and me and Rita was just chilling, holding it down. They laughed at me. They laughed. Because it wasn't about, we didn't even start spending money until later on in life. We was trying to stay near our parents as long as we possibly could. They laughed at me. Oh my God, look at his little bedroom. We was comfortable. We was doing really, really well. Daughter was going to a good school, flying everywhere, enjoying life. Money was piling up, assets, continuing to buy places. People literally laughed at me because we stayed home and we stacked up. Y'all so busy trying to be independent, y'all will go out there, y'all will take out student loans that y'all can't pay back, and then you'll hold the government accountable and say it's the system that's set up against you. Who y'all trying to impress? Who are y'all trying to impress?
First, it's important you understand as a home buyer and investor that we're only starting to get back to normal in terms of the foreclosures right now. The government during the pandemic, they banned the foreclosures for 2 years. And even if the banks wanted to foreclose, they couldn't foreclose because of COVID. But now those restrictions are gone. And due to those restrictions being gone, we are seeing that increase in foreclosures. Now, take a look at this. It doesn't look like a huge increase quite yet. You can see it's gone up and basically gotten back to normal in terms of the foreclosure filings. Of course, the first thing you guys probably notice when you look at this graph is 2009. Wow, look what happened in 2009. The foreclosures went crazy. We had almost 1 million foreclosure filings per quarter in 2009, 2010. One of the reasons why the last crash was so bad. But what I'm concerned with is that this foreclosure line is going to spike in coming quarters here, much like it did in 2005, 2006. You can see the foreclosures were low. People didn't think the housing downturn would be that bad. And then they went vertical. And the way that foreclosures go vertical and it can increase very fast is you...
Somebody said only people with parents can do that. What about the rest of us? Get you a fucking roommate. Share a crib with somebody. You know... The interesting thing about it is that even my brothers, we've all combined living, resources, all of that other type of stuff until it made the most sense possible. You did, Jay Woodfin. I'm about to read that super chat shortly. In our family, we've always combined resources. We've always leveraged the opportunities. Yo, I was so excited when my father became a maintenance guy, the head of maintenance over at an apartment building. He said, Anton, you need to stay here because your mom is getting sick at that particular time. She's much, much better now. We moved two doors down and we stayed for free until he passed away. It wasn't until after almost a year after he passed away, we was like, you know what? I guess it's time to go ahead and make that move. We're going to go ahead and have to spend some money. Then we was able to really, really, really step out and do what we wanted to do. Y'all better get y'all a roommate. You better line up with friends. You better rent out a room. You better do something because the way in which y'all think that y'all can traditionally do it, You need to come up with a better solution. You need to lower the cost of your living expenses, get rid of the shit that don't mean anything, and then start to put money into the stuff that actually is going to make more money for you long term. It's a very simple solution, but it's very, very difficult in order to execute it. For real, seriously.
Combine risky lending and bad lending with economic turmoil and a recession. If you have that combination, you can go from having no foreclosures to tons and tons of foreclosures. And what we're seeing in the US economy right now is that we're in the beginning stages of a recession. The leading indicators say that the recession is either here or it's going to get worse in coming months and quarters, which suggests that the unemployment rate is going to go up. And in fact, we're already starting to see job losses. We're starting to see initial unemployment claims increase.
So, long story short, because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but long story short, what you do see, and I want to read some of these super chats because they're really, really good. People feel like they're entitled to live in Florida because the weather is so good. When we was out in California, shout out to my dog Jay Woodfin. When we was out in LA and California and Venice and all of that other type of stuff, we talked to some people, and I talked to the guy when we was like on a little boardwalk on Venice, and I said, yo, bro, how can you afford to live here or whatever? And he was just like, I can't not live here because of the weather. Even if it was the worst thing for him. They won't move into a space where it's better jobs. Now you combine in the fact that they have higher unemployment in that. It's not necessarily the jobs. Unemployment itself may be low, the availability of jobs, but quality jobs is not available for you. A lot of people, I've seen people stay in spaces just because family is there instead of moving out and going to get that bag. People have lifestyle creep, so now they see their friends balling out and getting all of this stuff. So now they got to go out and buy stuff. They don't know that their friends' 401k is anemic. Their friends got everything on Afterpay. They can't really afford to live the life that they want to live. They out here spinning and balling, and all of the stuff that you see on Instagram is not really real. And so y'all are so easily influenced into what you think the standard of living for life is instead of trying to look for life hacks on how it is that you can do things differently. It is going to be I'm telling you, over the next 2 years, you are going to see less jobs, less quality jobs, a hollowing out of the middle class. There's going to be more people that continue to get into the game because it's oversaturated with people that don't know what the fuck they doing. They jumping into the real estate game. They financing it. They putting 3.5% down, hoping to get a flip. Everybody keep telling you to buy instead of rent, which is good, but you also need the context to go along with it. And instead of you putting your pride down so that you can then allocate the majority of the resources to minimize the amount of money that you're going to give over into the banks and interest, you doing a thing that's not best for you because you truly don't understand how money works. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me knock out some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. Oh my fucking God. What is going on? Shout out to J Dub, says, happy late anniversary, my brother. I appreciate the marriage tips. We going to cook tonight, J Dubs. Thank you for the 100 ball. Thank you for continuing to rock out with me. I appreciate you, J Dubs. You absolutely awesome. I'm going to talk about marriage and divorce tonight. I'm going to go into marriage and divorce tonight. My specialty. Lance Brown is in the building, says, great morning, man of God, proud bag chaser. Continue to apply that pressure. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat because it's some awesome information and advice. And I'm about to drop that template in there for y'all. But if you know, you know it. I don't want to go into the details. My dog Cliff says, don't forget the people who move 1 hour away from work because they thought that they were going to be working from home. Facts. I appreciate that too. Raphael says, thanks for always putting this on, coach. Much love. I appreciate you, Raphael. Thank you for holding me down, my friend. A lot of people don't understand the pop, but they will. They'll get used to it. Ask questions in the chat. We'll familiarize you. Wealth Building Journey says, it's almost like the next housing crisis is being set up for those with the dry powder will be able to capitalize on it. Get ready now or miss out. Shout out to the Wealth Building Journey. That's continuing to contribute into the platform. My dog, Dre Woodfin. When I move out, not move out. See, y'all already got me thinking about moving out to LA. When I'm shooting out to LA, Jay Woodfin is the first person that I kick it with. All right. Jay Woodfin says, I literally just told you over dinner, overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Man, he took me to a vibe. About how I'm about to build 20 new properties cash within the next 2 years and I'm never selling. The rich will get way richer in the next 3 years while driving my 2019 Armada. Shout out to Jay Woodfin, my guy, in the building. I got to give Jay Woodfin that. Thank you, Jay Woodfin, continuing to hold me down, big dog, and for continuing to contribute into the platform and being a good friend of mine. I had to put up on my story what Jay Woodfin was talking about credit. Y'all need to go and look up Jay Woodfin. That dude is a G. Julian Harvey says, Anton is speaking facts. I'm staying in this studio apartment until I'm out of debt. Shout out to Julian Harvey. I appreciate you. Also, my dog, Hassan. Do you think using my VA benefits to grab a rental property is a bad idea? I'm stacking and waiting in a few years to make the move. I do think it's a phenomenal idea. A lot of people don't understand that VA benefits, especially when you're in certain states, you can absolve yourself of property taxes. You also can remove a lot of the barriers to entry into home ownership. I think you absolutely, positively must use your VA. When you don't use it, you literally forego the benefits that came along with being in the military. Use your VA benefits. We can talk about that. I've coached a lot of people through how it is that they need to be able to use their VA benefits in order to be able to leverage that, not only from an educational perspective as far as using it from that, but also when it comes to real estate. I think you should use it. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Jake Fever in the building says, I'm calling cap on this recession coming. It came and went quarter 1 and 2, 2022. I see a slow crawl upwards and everybody screaming recession the entire time. You shouldn't. And let me tell you why, Jake. I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't call cap on a recession. Is because just because it's not an official recession in the way that you've seen it in 2008 and 2009 does not mean that people are not going through recessionary issues. It's a lot of people that's house poor. It's a lot of people that can't afford their cars and foreclosures are up, repossessions are up. It doesn't have to be directly in front of your face, or it doesn't have to be 2008, 2009 recessionary levels in order for you to understand that everybody out here is fucked up. When we talking about banking, when we talking about how much credit is being used and utilized and capitalized, when we talking about home prices, when you combine that with interest rates, and then you also throw into the mix the fact that people are not making, or they can't even keep up with the rate of inflation of how much money that they're making anymore, it's fucked up. It is absolutely, positively messed up. I'm telling you. Go out there and kick it with the people and ask them just go out there. Just walk out there and just start having conversations with people and ask them what their current situation is and watch them start to overtalk and tell you exactly what's happening in their life. I'm telling you, bro. Most people are out here. They are fucked up. But okay. You go ahead and call cap on it. I'm going to call an opportunity, and then I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of it. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, if you have some room on the panel, invite me up. I got 35 years in. Friday, 2 days from now. 2 days from now. All right? Let's continue. Let's go into the show. I want to share one thing before we really, really get into it. Black men are allegedly going broke in the Philippines out here in these streets. Let's go ahead and share this with y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Before we get into the whole Umar Johnson video, this should be interesting.
Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by again today. Truly grateful. A disproportionate number of black men are being taken advantage of overseas. And I just want to talk about it today. This is not an indictment against black men. It's sort of a wake-up call. Just what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing over here. It may be because most of the men that I see over here and deal with in close proximity are black. But the numbers don't lie, guys. You know, y'all hear all these horror stories that I tell. The majority of them are black men. And I just want to give my take on it and why I think that's happening. This is an effort to be helpful. You know, that's what my video is about.
So this is a man that's over in the Philippines, and he's obviously a passport bro. And we know that the passport bros has been a movement for some time. Me, myself, I've been trying to be objective about it as much as possible. But the reality is that like Sam says, City Boys is down out here. Shout out to my dog, Jay Rello, Precious and Gary. J. Rello be crowdsourcing his ability to go over to Sosua over in the Dominican Republic. And I tell people all the time, I know it's some guys that's doing okay. I know it's some guys that's doing decent. But I tell people all the time that no matter where you go, you got to take you with you. It's kind of like the guy that get fired from his job, and he always say it's his job fault, and it was his boss's fault in this part, and it was his boss's part in that fault, and they got mad and all of this other type of stuff or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And they go over there and they get finessed because they don't understand that female nature is the same whether you in Western culture or you go over there in the Philippines or you go over there to Sosua. You still a mark. You still getting finesse. You still getting taken advantage of. But let me continue to hear what he got to say.
Let's just get right into it. One of the reasons, the big reasons that I believe so many of us are being taken advantage of, or at least they're trying to take advantage of us, is because we're trying to do the right thing. We want to do the right thing.
Cap.
We know our reputation and our image around the world.
Cap.
It's a bad one. It's a wrong one. But what we want to do is erase that. We try to shatter those images. And a lot of times we overcompensate. You know, we have something to prove as providers. You know, they say we're absent fathers. So we...
Listen, fellas, I call cap on the whole thing. I'm a defender of my guys, but I'm also objective, and I got to be honest. You ain't going overseas in order to try to change the narrative of who you are so that you go over there and you try to do more than what you really can. And then as a result of it, you getting finessed. That is not what's happening, bro. You're not going over there trying to treat them Philippine women right. And then now you over there and you, I mean, honestly, objectively, you are not going over there and saying, you know what, the image of black men is different and I'm going to go over here and change the narrative. No, let's be for real. You over there buying pussy. You thought that they was going to treat you differently than the women over here treated you. And so as a result of it, if your inability to be able to manage your finances correctly and you over there getting finessed by them, mean that you was going to get finessed over here the same way. You just got finessed slower. And so now she made you take care of the whole family. She made you feel like she loved you. And so the black man he over there, we're aware of our national images, so we over here trying to do things a little bit differently. Cap.
Overcompensate. We spend a lot more money than we should. We end up getting in a lot of jackpot situations, you know, whether it involves a visa, getting married. I just said money, you know, just taking on a lot of unnecessary responsibility overseas. I'm not just talking about the Philippines. There's horror stories all over the world.
So are y'all telling me that the black man is getting taken advantage of here in the U.S. and over in the Philippines and everywhere and in Thailand and in the Dominican Republic and all of that? You telling me that these women don't want you for you? Aw, hold on. Let's see.
But we've got a reputation problem, and a lot of this is subconscious. And we're just trying to prove it to be wrong, you know, about us being promiscuous, you know, we're easy. So that's really the main reason, the first thing I believe.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it is talking a little bit slower than I wanted to talk, but let me speed this up a little bit. This is hilarious.
Hinders us.
I've never
when
seen
we travel overseas.
I've never seen this video, so this is hilarious to me.
We come face to face with that reputation, and we're trying to disprove it, and so we overcompensate. Now, the second thing I'm going to tell you, the reason why a lot of black men are being taken advantage of overseas, or at least they're trying to take advantage of us, is because we're hard-headed. We don't take advice well. We'll say, well, you can't tell me nothing. I mean, you can be looking at something right in the face and miss it. Somebody can tell you, hey, man, look, don't fool with this woman over here. Don't go this way. And you go anyway. You know, we had a lot of things, you know, we're not really, when we do ask for help, we're not giving the whole story, but we're hard-headed, man. This is what I run into a lot of times. I see a lot of guys over here in the Philippines who could have easily avoided the problems they've had. Simply hard-headedness.
I'm trying to understand exactly what he's referring to, but we'll get there.
So they want to do it on their own, and that's their prerogative, you know, but I'm just telling you that this is the reason why I see so many black men being taken advantage over here.
Yo, what is that critter over his left shoulder? I'm looking at it as left for me. It's his right shoulder, but on the left shoulder, it's like a little critter that's moving around there. I don't know if that's a dog, a pig, anything like that.
Doing all kinds of things that we shouldn't even do. Why would you build a house
See it moving?
for someone that you have no ties to at all?
Y'all niggas over there building houses for these hoes over there in the Philippines? Say it ain't so. Cliff, I hear you. I see you. I'm gonna read that super chat shortly. I'm reading super chats throughout the show. Tell me y'all not over there building houses for these hoes. No way. No way possible. Tell me that y'all not over there getting finessed. D, Mofid, I'm gonna read that super chat shortly. Thank you, my friend. Y'all over there building houses for these chicks that's for the streets in the Philippines, and you think that just because her eyes is like this, that she better than the chick that y'all over here with? Y'all said that that's a lizard over there? Not the lizard climbing on a tree. See, I'm not built for this shit. I'm a city guy. I need a city right away. I am a city dude. It's a lizard over his shoulder. That can't be, Jesus. Give me a place where I can deal with the rodents and the rats. Let's continue though. Let's hear what he got to say. I genuinely want to be open. These niggas is over here building houses for these hoes.
It goes back to the subconscious. Again, we're trying to disprove, we're not cheap. We got more than what you think we have, We're always at odds with that reputation. But yeah, we're hard-headed. Our inability to say no is another reason that I've seen a problem with brothers overseas. We just won't say no because, again, it goes back to the image and that reputation, and we feel we're going to lose out on the good thing.
So it's not the image and reputation. It's that you don't want to lose this chick that you think that really like you. Got you.
Thing that we've found over here. So we're very hesitant to say no. We very seldom say no. So we end up doing things we really don't want to do. Let's face it. And that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. Remember, I did a video a long time ago. The default word over here is no. Don't ever be afraid to pull that out of your arsenal. We don't want.
So let me get this straight. Y'all don't like the hoes that's over here, justifiably, right? You don't know where to find the good girls. You go over there, you get finessed. They make you build a house, and now you're going broke over there, but you got more than what it is that you say that you have.
To do it, just say no, or not at this time. But don't feel the need to say yes because of your fear of losing out. It doesn't matter because you're a black man, you still got the royal flush over here, okay? Just stand your ground.
Stand your ground,
and
fellas.
that kind of brings us to the next thing that I see. We have a low self-worth, a low self-esteem.
Not a black man that got low self-worth and low self-esteem. Rebuke that devil. So wait a minute. I thought that was the reason. Honestly, I thought that was the reason that y'all went over there in the first place, is because, get your passport, fellas. You're going to run the checkup over there. These women is going to love you. They're going to appreciate you more. So if you get there and you still got low self-worth and low self-esteem, what was the point of going over there in the first place? You might as well have just stayed over here and continued to feed into the American economy. We need your dollars over here. You know what I'm saying? How you got so low self-worth and low self-esteem when that was the whole reason that you went over there, is to be appreciated in the first place? Yo, what the fuck is going on out here?
That comes from, all the years of being told you nothing. The images and all that play out on television and the movies, in real life.
Not the
we have a low self-esteem, so we end up settling.
Not the Victim Olympics.
For things that far less than what we deserve. Look, guys, don't settle for anything that you don't absolutely want 100%.
Now we starting to sound like modern women. Fellas, we out here looking bad, sounding like modern women. You can't say that you deserve anything. You can't say don't settle for anything less than what you deserve. What do you deserve? You deserve whatever it is that you have. What do you mean? Don't settle for what do you deserve? We don't know what you deserve. You deserve whatever the market gives you, whatever you can afford.
But we're settling because of our low self-esteem, our low self-worth. You're good enough.
Oh,
we're being used, man.
We need a
disproportionate number overseas, and I see it.
Victim Olympics.
It's a wake-up call. All the passport bros traveling around the world looking for love, looking for relationships, man. We got a target on our backs, guys, and y'all don't even know it. I'm the only one that's going to tell you. I'm the only one with balls enough to talk about it. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm trying to wake you up.
Yo, if y'all honestly listen, I know y'all don't want to hear this. I know y'all gonna say, Anton, you being lame, or you being mean, or you being whatever. If y'all not going and traveling the world just because you want to experience life around the world, and you just so happen to find the women that come along with it, then you're doing it wrong. If you're not going across the world to just experience life, to see different cultures, to eat different food, to be able to learn other languages, to understand how other people are living, and then taking that in order to be able to make your life more fuller as a result of it, then you're doing it wrong. If you going across the world, if you got to travel all 15, 16, I got a Tokyo flight that's 13 fucking hours overnight. If you going all over there just to get some pussy, looking for love, you looking for somebody to love on you, you traveling 13 hours across overseas in order to look for somebody to, oh yeah. We got bigger problems. We got bigger problems to solve for, bro. We got bigger problems to solve for. You went over there, couldn't even speak the language with your book bag and your $70,000 salary, which is not a bad thing. I believe in guys that work. You trying to work remote and y'all getting finessed like this?
A lot of this stuff is subconscious, so you don't even see it. But I see it because I'm paying attention. But the next thing, and from what I see, a lot of us, we're seen as desperate over here.
Facts.
And, that just ties into the low
desperate over here too.
Self-esteem and low self-worth. And they say, well, you ought to be happy with whatever you get overseas and however you're treated. You should be thankful somebody's even wanting you, because they don't want you over there. Trust me, they know about us around the world. They know more about us than we know about ourselves. And this video is just a flashing red light to guys, because a lot of the people who are coming over here, let's just keep it on the Philippines since this is where I am. This is their first time overseas. They've never traveled overseas. They don't know what life is really like outside of their comfort zone, outside of their cities and states. They think everything is the same here as it is everywhere else. They don't know what signs to look for.
So y'all don't think that women got eyes over there? Honestly, y'all don't think that these women can see y'all? You think that they for some, do y'all think that these women are dumb just because they overseas? You don't think that they hypergamous? You don't think that they could see what you look like? You don't think that they could see you as a mark? Dog, if you looked at, when I went over to me, my wife, and my daughter went over to the Dominican Republic, and we was walking around, and everywhere that I went, right, it would be little kids or whatever, and they would say, basically they recognized that I wasn't from there. I didn't have to say anything. I was just walking, right, and they would run up to me, oh my God, whatever. They recognize that you're not from there. I know that they know where I'm from, or that I'm outside of, their culture, or the way that I walk, the way that I dress, how I got my beard, the whole 9 yards. They know that I'm a mark. So y'all walking around there thinking that, and when I say a mark, I'm saying that you are somebody that's not familiar with what it is that they got going on. However, they still have eyes. They still can see you. They still know that they're going to drain you for everything that y'all got, and then they're going to dish you to the side after you built the house for them. You think what? Wait. So you think that because you left the United States and you wasn't liked in high school, that for some reason you're going to be looked at like a rock star when you get over to the Philippines?
Of us are older, so we seem like we're in a hurry. We're rushing to do things that you have no business rushing into. Marrying, building houses, and taking on just unnecessary responsibilities that you have no need to do that. So yeah, this is like a heart-to-heart talk with my brothers today. I'm not picking on you. This is not an indictment against you. This is just what I'm seeing. A disproportionate number of black men are being taken advantage of overseas.
And they deserve
for those reasons that I said.
They deserve it. They absolutely deserve it, because they thought that they was going to run and be a different person as a result of going somewhere else, and you're not. You're the same person that you were when you left.
That's something to prove. Everybody knows our reputation as being poor providers, as being womanizers. We're promiscuous. We're absent fathers. A lot of that is wrong. So we overcompensate. We'll come over here and start buying up stuff and trying to disprove and shatter that reputation and that bad image. Just be yourself.
Hey, y'all, boy Timmy says, nah, building a house is crazy.
All I'm trying to say, man. Just be yourself. We're hard-headed. Learn how to take some advice, man. You know, maybe it's because we're set in our ways. We're older. You know, you can't tell me nothing. I got this. But this is your first time in the Philippines. It's your first time overseas. You need some help, man. If not, you're going to continue to get tricked up over here.
You know what? Honestly, I just don't feel like I need any of these dudes' help. I honestly don't believe that I need any of these guys' help. I don't feel like I need to be a part of their Facebook group. If I was to go overseas, I don't believe that I need advice from these guys on how it is that I need to be able to talk to women or not to get finessed into building a house for a chick, or I'm just saying, like, do I need help in not buying a whole house for a family over there in order to seek out love? I just don't feel like I need their advice. I don't think that it's maybe it's the arrogance in me, and I'm open to being corrected. But you're not gonna get nothing out of me, fam. You not getting a house for your family out of me. Fuck your family. Fuck them little kids. Fuck your mama and your daddy. Are you for the streets or no? Otherwise, get out of my face. We pay you to leave. We don't pay you to stay. You're not getting a dime out of me, bro. Like, I just don't really care. I don't need your advice. I'm not gonna seek out the Passport Bros collective bargaining agreement Facebook group in order to try to understand how to not get finessed out of hoes overseas. I got Google Translate. I'm good. I'm straight, fam. These dudes is out here getting finessed.
We're afraid to say no. Afraid we're going to lose out on the best thing we've ever had. Well, this isn't the best thing you've ever had. Stand your ground. Say no. It's the default word over here. You still have the
man to stand his
royal
ground.
flush. It doesn't matter.
Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to be reading those shortly.
And when you stand your ground, when you say no, they're going to get over it. They're used to hearing no.
Shout out to Razi.
They look at us as being desperate. We're seen as being desperate. And we come off as being desperate.
You are desperate.
Because the minute we land, man, we're leading with our wallet. You know,
and the same thing that they do here. They lead with their wallet. They lead with their money. And then they get over there. But the only difference is that the wallet and the money, you just going to be looked at as food. You're going to be programmed in their phone as food. But over there, it's the same thing. It's no different, bro. It's no different. They don't see you as awesome. Somebody said you married, bro. These young brothers dealing with city girls here. But you don't think that it was... Y'all think the game has changed. The game is the same. The game been the same the whole time, bro. It's just the players that changed. The finesse has been in since before you was born. It's going to be here after you gone, bro. And you know what's going to happen? When you become an OG and when you get 40 and 50, and it's going to be young dudes, and they're going to be saying, man, it's different out here. These women is out here finessing, and they only want guys that got money. It's going to be the same thing, bro.
Overcompensating. We're doing things that we shouldn't even be doing the first day you get here. All of that comes from low self-esteem. You know, we think we're not good enough. We always in a fight with that reputation and that image.
Somebody in T-Biz says, you're not awesome, bro. Cool. I'm all right with not being awesome. You know what I'm not all right with? Getting finessed. Listen, you niggas can pay for pussy. I'm cool with that. You're not going to get a dime out of me. No matter how not awesome you don't think I am, I'm going to tell you this. One thing is for sure and two things is for certain. It don't matter if I'm here in America, I'm over in the Philippines, I'm in Thailand, Tokyo, Brazil, Rome, Italy, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Ukraine, whatever the fuck you want to say. I tell you what, you're not getting a dime out of me. I don't care if I'm single, if I'm married. You're not getting 1 cent out of me, bro. Not one. I don't know what you niggas can't understand about that. King, they know who I am. They know what's happening. They know what's happening. I ain't got to say it. I don't care where I am. I'm not tricking on no hoes, bro. I don't know where y'all can't see that from. Whether you don't like me, whether you absolutely think I'm him, I'm not him, I'm that, whatever, so on and so forth. I'm not giving that hoe 1 dime. I'm not building a house for a hoe. Why are y'all sitting here saying that y'all want to build houses for these chicks? What's wrong with y'all? Jesus fucking Christ.
You know, we always think we got something to prove. So I'm sending out this wake-up call to the passport bros, to black men traveling overseas. Whether it's your first time or whether it's your 10th time, there's a target on our back. A disproportionate number of black men that I'm coming in contact with, we're being taken advantage of, millions and millions of pesos. You know, the women that we're settling for, we deserve better. The situations we're settling for, we deserve better, guys. And that's all this is today. So thank y'all so much for stopping by again.
Thank you for confirming what it is that I already believed. Every time that I think that it's something different going over there and guys got a different perspective and the way in which they operating, I'm always brought back to the reality that a lame is going to be a lame no matter where it is that they go. A trick is going to be a trick no matter where it is that they go. And it don't matter if you over here in the United States or you over there. If you can't see that you're getting tricked out of your bag or they trying to get you a green card, you over there looking like a fool, man. And they laughing at you. And her family is saying, taking for everything that you got. And you over there saying, I found the woman of my dreams. Okay. She ain't have nothing else. She was over there on a banana boat. She was eating stems and trees and she was climbing fucking mountains and she was suffering. And you went over there and you gave her a car, a house, a home. You made a home, a house for her. And now you sitting over there talking about I'm trying to overcompensate. I want to be a provider or a protector. No, you a trick. And a trick is going to be a trick no matter where it is that they go. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you play it. Y'all dudes over here shooting shots in the DMs, paying for pussy. Y'all the Zion Williamsons of y'all era. You Zion Williamson, I'm Wilt Chamberlain, nigga. You still getting Zioned. Still getting Zioned. No matter what. You ain't never gonna ever see a woman that ever said that they tricked me out of a bag. I'm going to take my lame bag and keep it to myself. I'm going to buy this fucking real estate. I'm going to drive these Benz. I would rather drive down the street and let the money fly out all over the street than go over there building houses for hoes for some pussy. I would rather not have pussy than be building houses for pussy. I don't know why that's so difficult for dudes to understand. You need a man that's over there in the Philippines telling you to stand your ground. Do you really need another man over here to tell you to stand your ground and not spending money on women that don't give a fuck about you? You can't tell that woman don't care nothing about you? You still sending her money over there? Anton, you don't understand the game. You goddamn right I don't understand the game that you playing. You in a whole nother league than me. This nigga's is dumb. Stupid, yo. I would rather just let it fly out all over the streets and give it to her. Let me read some of these super chats. Krieger19 said, are they being taken advantage of or are they flexing their money away? No matter where you go, it's always about the mindset. Love your content, bro. Facts. See, he get it. He get it. Shout out to my dog Cliff Williams. Says, Selena and Suki want their greenback, sir. Remember the dude that was trying to, that YK Osiris kissed her in the mouth? It was another guy that was on the live stream that was saying, yeah, man, I would, yeah, I would eat you. I'm like, oh, don't you know what she would do to guys? Maybe I'm just that lame. I stay lame. Let me stay lame. D Mofit says, I joined a Patreon and a Discord, and I'm about to cut my hair. Thank you for sowing the seeds in us young men, Anton. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of my new Patreon members. The link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Anything from 1 to 5, you get a... All right, shout out to y'all. Tech Coach Ralph is in the building, says, these roosters in the background, though. Facts. Can't go to sleep. Got to wake up to a rooster. Aaron says, Anton back on his city boy life. Cliff is in the building, says, if you lunch everywhere. If you lunch here, you lunch there everywhere. Shout out to Cliff. Zach is in the building. Says you also got to realize that most of the men are older men getting taken for a ride. Well, if you're an older guy, don't tell me to stop my... If you're an older guy, y'all, they paying for the pop, so they get their money's worth. I promised the pop, I'm giving them a pop. If you're an older guy, you should really know the game then, right? So, okay, so here's the thing. Which way do y'all want it? Because y'all saying, Anton, you've been out the game. But these guys is OGs. That guy that was on that stream is older than me, right? So if that guy on that stream is older than me, then that means that he's supposed to be divested from the same behavior that the young guys is doing, right? No? Okay. I don't know, Zach. I feel like I'm out here in these streets. Aaron says, fellas, stop trying to prove yourself to women who don't want you. You're setting yourself up to be simped out and finesse. Shout out to Aaron. If y'all don't want the pop, then y'all got to go more than $5. But the people that want the pop is paying for the pop, all right? Hedging Mastermind, and if y'all don't know where the pop came from, then go and watch the stream from yesterday. Hedging Mastermind says, why don't they go to Africa and Nigeria? I think that I'm going to explore that. Hedging Mastermind. Yeah, I think that I'm going to explore that. I might add that as a part of my live stream tonight that I do on the Anton Daniels channel. Shout out to Real. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Aaron says, you see a pretty face. She sees a passport and an ATM. Shout out to Aaron. Service USA is in the building. Says, get these likes up. Shout out to you. My dog Razik is in the building. Says, make pimping great again, not simping. Shout out to Razik. Aaron is in the building. Aaron says, the greatest negotiation tool is the ability to walk away from the table. You don't need her that bad. Be cool. Being yourself rather than being a simp. Shout out to Aaron. Greatness to Work says, I get sick of these people getting online talking about we. Nah, that's just you, homie. It's black men, white men, white women, white men, all with videos online saying the opposite of him. Facts. Lamar Black Attack is in the building. Said, I never felt sorry for tricks. I never will. Travel to enjoy life and peace of mind. If you travel to trick, you would be the trick. I agree with you. And shout out to Real. Real did not throw that out there. He just threw the 10 ball out there. He says, if you're paying for it, cool. If you're not paying for it, that's cool too. Just play whatever role you decided to play and stop complaining about it. I agree. Shout out to Real. I appreciate everybody that continues to support the platform. I want to get into the thick of it. Brittany, why don't you like my pop? R-Tube, I'm not going to whistle. I promise the people a pop. They say that they like the pop, and so we're going to continue to go with the pop. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, allegedly, Dr. Umar Johnson is out in these streets making waves again. Out here in these streets. And he's holding black men accountable for the behavior of black women, allegedly. I have not seen the video, but this is something that was sent to me. So I want to react to this clip or a short clip of what it was that Dr. Umar is out here having a conversation about. We know Dr. Umar Johnson is on his game as usual. I think that he is quite possibly all the way on top of things when it comes to this content creation game. He knows what people want. Shout out to Spaces. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Hennafit said he want me to do the pop again. I see you. Let's get into it.
Speaking of that, I've seen a video of yours where you said that feminism has conditioned black women to view black men as the enemy.
It has. Feminism was financed by the CIA. Gloria, what was her name? Gloria Steinem, I think.
Let me say this before we get into this video. Dr. Umar Johnson knows who he can get away with this type of stuff with. I seen a Instagram clip or an Instagram reel of those guys trying to debate Dr. Umar Johnson. They were not even remotely in his weight class. I'm going to be honest with you. He was way. I think that Dr. Umar Johnson is a legend. His ability to be able to be entertaining on the internet is second to none. All right, but let me go ahead. I haven't seen this video. I want to break it down.
I think she was.
Right, yeah.
Mother of modern feminism, because traditional feminism goes back to the 1800s, right? With Susan B. Anthony and those white supremacists. But Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. They financed her. Her first feminist magazine they paid for. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house and into the black household to turn the black woman against the black man. To scapegoat us for problems caused for her by white supremacy.
So, obviously, a big thing, obviously, we spoke about the gender wars, earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation nowadays about, shortly. The value of what a woman brings and the value of what a man brings in a relationship. And now there's a lot more rhetoric from our women that we hear is, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right? So,
that's pain speaking, though.
Right.
Because most black women know they will never get a man. A black woman can have sex whenever she wants.
Right.
Because she's beautiful. She can have a bed mate, but to have a soul mate, she may never get. I have 2 daughters, 11 and 20, right? My oldest will be 21 this week.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Umar Johnson had 2 daughters, 11 and 20. That is a wide gap. But shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. This should be entertaining. This is really, really getting interesting.
Statistically, right?
Basically, he said that women have access to sex. He said women have access to sex, but they would never, ever, ever be able to control access to marriage. Sound familiar? Sounds like Kevin Samuel's talking point to me. But it doesn't mean that he's wrong so far. He said women control access to sex. They will always be able to get that box up. And the one thing that I disagree with him about, though, is that she got to be beautiful in order to do so. Because I done walked around in some of these grocery stores and seen some of these women looking like a sack of potatoes, and they have a whole lot of kids behind them and another dude simping in another aisle. And I be thinking to myself, her mouth must work crazy. However, he said women control access to sex and men control access to marriage. Let's continue.
There's a strong chance my daughter could be one of those. I hope she's not. She could be one of those who never get a husband because only 1 out of 4 gets a husband. You see that? So when a black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality that I may not get a man.
So why not preach? Because I understood, you're obviously against interracial relations when it comes to black men with black women. With white women.
With all women. You should only be with the black woman.
And you will say, well, if you can't find a good woman in America,
go somewhere else.
In
Absolutely.
Africa. So why not teach that same rhetoric to our women? Like if you feel
I tell sisters all the time, go to Africa. So I know sisters who marry. I just spoke with a sister. She invited me to the wedding. She just married a brother from the continent.
So, but instead of saying they will never get married,
I'll take sisters to Africa who married brothers they met in Africa.
Right.
So yeah,
I think there's obviously plenty of black men and black women.
So and what I also tell black women, if you're going to go get you an African man from the continent,
right,
you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Why the fuck is it tolerated? It's not tolerated here.
I'm reading super chat shortly. This should be interesting. I just want to keep playing the video because I want to get the full context of what he's saying before I start to react to it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to tell him.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though. Because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for.
I knew he was going to go off the rails. It's always, listen, I didn't disagree with anything that he said up until this point. The minute I knew as soon as we start talking about personal responsibility and accountability for how it is that you operate within your own sphere, and the minute you choose and all of that, it was going to go off the rails. All right, here we go.
Let's be honest. The black woman has had to hold down the black house by herself, although imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males began in the 1970s. You understand me? Most of our children are raised by a single mother right now. And it has been that way for about 50 years. So when a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down.
So we just going to ignore that as we advocate for equal, that they advocate updating family court laws. We're going to ignore the fact that women file for divorce overwhelmingly more than men. We're going to ignore the whole idea that women say, and when you ask them today in 2023 what it is that they want from a man, he has to be a 6-figure earner and he has to be better than her. We're going to ignore the fact that they have outsized expectations, even though they leave the man that they decide to have kids with and don't even marry him. We're going to ignore the fact that they go to these colleges and these indoctrination camps and that they slut it out, and then they're heroes, and that they choose the men that are worse for them. We're going to ignore the fact that if you ask any woman in America, any black woman in America who she should have married, she going to say that he already left, or that they continue to keep men in the friend zones. Dog, please don't get me started. Okay. All right. Let's just hear the rest of it. Honestly.
Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work, or you ain't got to pay the bills, or whatever pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that. And then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We did not.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection.
What? We have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection. Not for, because. You cannot make this up. I am going to be reading super chats after this. Oh my God. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we watching right here? No way. No way I'm hearing what it is that I'm hearing right now. No way that I'm hearing what I'm hearing right now. I might have to do a whole live stream just on this. Do I have to pivot from what it was that I was deciding that I was going to do a live stream about tonight? Because I was going to talk about marriage, but now I might have to. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind, bro. I'm genuinely losing my mind. If y'all have not, I think I'm about to go to a Tiege commercial because y'all have not hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Y'all have not hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I might have to go to a Tiege commercial. Cuban Mahogany says, Anton never wants to hold men accountable. I just did. In a literal last video that I just reacted to. I just did. I'm harder on men than I am on women. A lot of y'all don't even know that. It's the same thing that they said on Cameron Samuels. Okay, let's go ahead and continue.
See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one, so of course you're going to end up with a poor mate. And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it? Unemployed black males, what we doing about it? Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it?
I will pay double of whatever it is that they paid. I will pay triple. Whatever it is that they paid Dr. Umar Johnson to be on this show, I will pay him triple. I will pay him triple.
Black men are not raising black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault.
He is out of his mind. He is absolutely, positively out of his mind. Studies show that black men are more active and are better fathers than other races of men in society. That is a fact. Studies also show that when men or when kids are raised by single fathers, that they're much more likely to be successful than they are raised by single mothers. We also are just completely ignoring the whole idea of women have the ability to be able to choose for themselves, and when they do, they choosing wrong. Listen, we gonna just completely throw out the whole statistic that the overwhelming majority of the men that have kids is a small portion of black men in general. Most black men are good men. Most men that are having children, there's a majority of the women having children with a small minority of the men. And then we gonna say it's on us as a community. It only could be on us when it's the majority, not the minority. So how you just gonna completely remove accountability and responsibility and throw it on the men that don't even have? This is how they sell y'all on becoming stepfathers. This is how they sell y'all on becoming stepfathers. I'm being absolutely real. Don't fall for this shit, y'all. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for picking up the pieces for other people and their responsibility or their inability to take responsibility and accountability for it. Do not take accountability and responsibility for something that somebody else did and then let them put it on you so that you can go out there and get your fucking muffin top peeled back by these kids that don't give a fuck about you. This is how they sell y'all. Umar Johnson, Roland Martin, Boyce Watkins, all of these dudes continue to sell y'all on being step pappies. Don't let them guilt y'all because, listen, you did the right thing. You tried to make her an honest woman. She left because she wanted to go and get Tupac. Tupac is dead and in jail. Now she's sitting there with 2 stepkids and you telling me to take responsibility for the community. Man, fuck them kids, bro. Them ain't my kids. And I don't feel no need to have to take ownership and responsibility because, man, let that hoe go and find some other simp because she's Suki with the good coochie on Instagram. Man, what's wrong with these dudes, man? Most black men are good. Most black men got jobs. Most black men is taking care of their kids. Most black men is taking care of their wife. Most black men is taking care of the woman that they did have kids with when they was married, and she left and she still got another dude in her phone as food. Because I coach them every day.
What I'm saying,
he ain't got the right people to push back, bro.
Is she got a right to be angry with us?
No, she don't.
She got a right to be angry with us.
She got a right to be angry with herself. Let me let this play for a little bit because I'll be here all day trying to get through one fucking clip.
We have not been on our job as black men. If the men are the providers, what have we been providing for our community? I'm not speaking to you individually.
Yes, everything.
You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father, but guess what? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the children who don't have a father? You don't think the black woman got a right to be angry when she's been raising 2/3 of the kids by herself for 50 years?
This is insane.
And the minute she raised her voice, we say she's not humble enough?
This is insane.
She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse. Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs to be
If we was
more
loving
selective.
our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of
You're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men that they ignore.
Why she even got it? Why is there even a Pookie in the selection?
You gotta ask her that.
No.
Is this dude out of his mind? The same way that okay, all right. Listen to what's being communicated here, y'all. I want y'all to break this down. And this is going to require for y'all to have y'all critical thinking skills. Okay. He's saying, why is there even a Pookie and a Ray Ray in a selection? The same reason that there's a Sukihana in the collection. Now, what he will tell you, though, is that, well, the reason why the Sukihana is in the collection is because of the lack of protection that comes along with black men, though. Okay, so you're saying that it's our responsibility because there's a Pookie and a Ray Ray in the collection because we need to become stepfathers. But then at the same time, we don't hold accountable the Sukihanas and the Meg Thee Stallions and the Cardi B's, right? So it's our fault no matter what. If she leaves, it's our fault. If she chooses wrong, it's our fault. Because the one thing that even the Bible told us is that there always will be poor among us. There's always going to be people that choose to do the wrong thing. It's always going to be people that choose to do crime. It's always going to be a chick that's for the streets. It's always going to be a dude that choose not to do the right thing. So now you have the ability to be able to choose for yourself. We removed all of the barriers to entry. You can vote. You decide to vote for the worst that's for us. You can then determine where it is that you want to go to school. You decide to enroll and get the most debt. You can then decide whether or not you want to give somebody access to sex. You can decide if you want to rap. You can decide whether or not you want to open your legs over and give a train over to dudes. You can decide if you want to go over and get a BBL. You can decide if you want to wear a wig. You can decide to do anything you want to do, but no matter what, it's always going to be your fault. Your fault. For the way that they choose. It's our fault that it even exists in the first place. It's their fault for also choosing. It's our fault for them choosing not to go with the guy that's best for them, right? So the only selection that they're supposed to have is the best amongst us. And if they got 100 choices and 99 of the guys is great, and then 1% of the guys is trash, and then 80% of the women sleep with the one guy and he get all of them pregnant, is then our fault that he even existed in the first place. This is the argument that's being made because that's the data and that's the statistics. Most men are good. And then we say, okay, women have choice to choose. Now most men get ignored. And then if 99% of the men is great, and then 80% of the women choose to mate with that one guy, and they have a whole bunch of kids. The 99% of the men is supposed to come in and become step pappies and make sure that it ain't that many 1% of those guys anymore. We doing this? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? If that be true, if this is the way in which we thinking about this, if this is how we're holding it down, with Umar Johnson just admitting that he has daughters, both 11 or 12 and 21 years old, and he's hoping that she choose the right man, is it because she would marry a man that is a reflection of what her father is? Because I don't see him walking around with a ring on his finger. So should we then go over and become stepfathers and community leaders of his children too? Honestly, because this argument is asinine. If he's not with the women that he then procreated with, is he a reflection of the thing that he holding men accountable for today? And should we then become stepfathers to who it is that he decided not to marry when he had kids with a woman? Just curious. Just curious. Honestly, this is wild. This is absolutely, positively insane. Insane. I'm reading Super Chat shortly.
No. I'm going to tell you why there's a Pookie in the selection.
Wow.
Because black men have abandoned black boys and have allowed social media, white media, athletes, and rappers to raise them. That's why she with Pookie. If we never allow Pookie to develop, she would not have a Pookie. If we're going to be men, the first thing we got to do is take responsibility for why our women feel the way they feel.
I can hear that.
I'm not saying that they're right to disrespect, because even if a woman disrespects me, right, that still don't give me a right to disrespect her because she's still the queen of the community.
You know why I can have this conversation? You know why it's so easy for me to be able to have this conversation? Because I am a reflection of the thing that I am and that I advocate for. I'm not a baby daddy. I'm a father. I'm a married father to one woman for 19 years as of 2 days ago. As of 2 days ago, I've been married for 19 years to the mother of my daughter, and I've declared that I'm never getting divorced. This is why I'm able to have this conversation instead of other people being able to poke holes in my argument, because I'm a reflection of what it is that I advocate for in the community. But I also advocate for not becoming a stepfather. I would never do it. I would never advocate for you to do it because I wouldn't do it myself. In order to hold somebody accountable, you first have to be a reflection of the thing that you advocate for. This is why they fear me and they don't fear him. They don't fear him. They look at him as a talking point. He's great as an orator. He's great as an entertainer, but they don't fear him because they know that he's just talking.
Even if she's not acting like it, I'm going to give her that respect. But when I hear brothers talk like this discourse we having now, we act like we don't understand.
I'm never going to be able to get an interview at this point. I got to be more diplomatic.
There's reasons for that shit.
I do understand. Women are so valuable. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think women ground men and help them, propel to the next level. I think.
Y'all go over there on Umar Johnson's Instagram platform or whatever, in his chat or whatever, and y'all spam the shit out of that and say, hey, you need to do an interview with Anton. Every person in here, we got over 1,400 people watching this right now. Get the likes up. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Every single person that's in here, I want y'all to go over there and tag and say you need to go over there and have a real conversation with a real man, Anton Daniels. Whatever it is that he want, we are paying. Whatever it is that he need to fly, we are flying. I want y'all to go over there, and I never, ever have asked y'all to do this. I never, ever want y'all to ever do this to anybody else. Spam the fuck out of his Instagram and his whatever his channels are, and y'all tell him y'all need to go over, you need to pull up on Anton because it'll be a very entertaining conversation. Every single one of y'all, 1,400 of y'all in here, I want y'all to go over there and spam the fuck out of that shit.
Men get further in life with a woman, right? But if I'm a hardworking man, but I'm only looked at as resources,
okay,
and then she's ready to jump on Tom, Dick, and Harry because he got flash. He's shining a little bit more. His access to money is quicker than mine. It's kind of hard to have that.
Well, no, one, I agree with you, but that's not all sisters.
No, it's not.
And if you're constantly running into that type of woman, then the problem is you because you're attracting a certain low vibrational energy. Why
not have that same energy for women? You just again, you held the man responsible. Because we having a conversation
as men.
Yeah.
I got plenty of interviews with all women where I check them too.
All right.
But as a man,
I ain't see him check Cynthia G.
you should not be concerned about what I say to them. No. As men, we should be concerned of what we're going to do to produce a better generation of black males for tomorrow.
No. You cannot protect somebody that you can't hold accountable. You cannot protect, because women, we keep talking about provision and protection and Black Queen. You cannot protect somebody that you cannot hold accountable. You cannot protect somebody that you cannot hold accountable.
That's the only, that is where we should be focusing.
Women bring the choice of life, right? We understand that, right? I can't have a child unless a woman agrees.
And she can't carry one if you didn't put it in her.
I agree with that 100% too, right? But whether or not, if you want that child or not, she can still make that decision. It's only up to her.
If you don't put a seed in her, nothing else happens. And no woman can make you put a seed in her. So the original act was the responsibility of a man.
True. I mean,
all right. So did black men willingly leave the household, or was it the system that was?
It was systemic.
All right. So how, if we giving them grace for them having to do it without us, but it wasn't our fault, how are we not getting that same grace and that same respect?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because black men, as the leaders of the community, now
we can't be leaders.
Here's the question we got to make. That? Here's the question. Because the argument y'all make, feeds into the feminist agenda.
Okay.
It's an argument that says, I don't want the responsibility.
I'm a leader.
I don't want to fix shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fall back and let her run everything. That's what the feminists tell. They say, look at them, making excuses for why they can't be better men, making excuses for why they can't make better men. You understand?
No, I'm not about to go over there and put myself under the knife so you can step on my neck. You're not going to bait me. This is how the passport bros getting finessed over there and building homes. You know, listen, you already took half my shit. You already weaponizing my kid against me. And you sitting there talking about I'm supposed to go over there and put myself under the guillotine so you can hit the button on me? And then go and fuck on the dude that actually was already taking your soul in the first place? Why would I put myself in that position? I've already gotten my ass kicked by you in the first place. I'm already paying you half of everything that I owe. I already give you child support. You already are taking advantage of me by putting my name on the birth certificate. It's guys out here paying for children that's not even theirs and they don't even know it. It's guys out here that's getting finessed. They are going to jail for kids that's not even theirs. It is a whole system that is set up to continue to destroy men across the board. And we are not even on an equal playing field, and you want to sit here and talk about how it is that we supposed to go up.
Your argument feeds the feminist narrative.
That's not what we make excuses for.
I'm saying I am the better man, but I shouldn't be held responsible because you wanted to choose a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's not me. I worked too hard in my life. I'm going to go back
to what I said. Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't exist. And the only reason why Pookie and Ray Ray exist because we're not in the community making those boys the men they need to be. Do you see that? And, she don't get a Pookie if you didn't allow a Pookie.
But she got an Eli. She ain't come to Eli. She went to Pookie. And that's what we're trying to say.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one. I worked too hard
in my life.
Right. She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
But Dr. Umar,
men supposed to make raise the boys.
Right. We as men is holding other men accountable for the same thing that you talking about right now.
What are we doing for the young brothers in the street? So
Jesus Christ. I don't know if I'm built for this. I'm genuinely not sure I'm built for this. I am not built for this conversation today, y'all. I don't have the wherewithal to be able to deal the way that I'm supposed to deal with this conversation. I don't. I see you, big dog. Dr. Deese, I'm going to address that specifically.
What you mean, mentoring them? No, I mean, he's a great father.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about that's individual. That's good. But that's individualism.
Yeah.
What are we doing collectively as men to change the trajectory for black boys in the streets right now?
I
Nothing.
We're being
but
a voice.
talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could take
it's not going to get better unless we put hands on deck. The reason the athletes and the rappers are the role models is the professional black man moved out the hood. Where the dentist at? He ain't in the black community no more. Where the lawyer at? Where the business owner at? Where your city council person at? We abandon black boys and then we blame black men for poor choices in mates that they should not even have to make if we did a better job raising our boys the right way. At the end of the day, if I'm going to call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for reconstruction of the black community rests with me. Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. You get what I'm saying? I should not have to do.
You still go back to individualism.
But I only feel like we tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women with children.
Why is she masculine? Because she's had.
Not gonna overtalk me, I'm about to cut this shit off, man. I'm not built for this. I'm not built for this. I'm about to cut this shit off.
To raise the kids alone, not one woman, so brother, tell me, a whole community.
Dr. Umar Johnson, respectfully, has done a better job than Derek Jackson on some of these women that's in this chat today. It's over 1,400 people in this chat. Dr. Umar Johnson has did a more effective job than Derek Jackson and finessing these women into thinking that they really, really deserve anything more than what their current circumstance and situation is. I am very much convinced he is way better than Derek Jackson. Way better than Derek Jackson. He has completely removed accountability from your plate. And y'all are over here seriously justifying his logic and his rhetoric. He even got some of the guys, like Greg Smith said, he telling the truth, though. Wow. Wowzers.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No,
that's what I have to look forward to.
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be. And I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children.
I'm not doing it. Nope. I was not prepared for this today. I was not prepared to be having this conversation and breaking this down today. I was not prepared. I was not. I have to admit, I'm genuinely 100% honest with y'all. I was not prepared to watch this video because I react to stuff in real time. And I choose not to preview what it is that I'm going to look at before I look at it. I just let y'all send it to me and I go from there. I don't know what to do. I tell y'all what, let's do it like this. This is just a clip. I tell y'all what, let's do it like this. This is what we're going to do. Tonight, roughly 9:30 Eastern on the Anton Daniels channel, I'm going to break the whole live stream down. I'm going to spend my Wednesday evening. I'm going to put what I wanted to talk about on the back burner. I'm going to go and break the whole thing down tonight. I'm going to go straight through the whole hour plus live stream, and I'm going to break it down tonight. I'll be more equipped. I'm not going to look at it ahead of time. I don't want to know what they talked about. I'm going to go through and break the whole show down tonight. Make sure that y'all tap in on the Anton Daniels channel tonight. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get up out of here. Spaces says, good Lord, just throw it all the passport bro theory away. If you're a sucker in the States, you're only a sucker for cheap overseas. Shaking my head. The Blue Hair Brigades are going to have a field day with this one. Shout out to Spaces. I appreciate you. I'm not even going to do no more pops today. Hennefit with the 2-ball. I appreciate you. Timeout says, Anton, I think most of these passport dudes were not looking for a wife. They went there to trick and live off of their retirement for cheap. And now they going broke. Dylan KO says, love your content. Keep it up, bro. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate you. Bam Bam Lynch says, I'd rather cut off my tongue to kiss a known 304. Facts. Hedging Mastermind is in the building, says Nigerian women value family, cook, and respect men. They rarely focus on finessing men. No feminism there. As long as you can provide, they will add value to you. I agree with that. I've seen that happen. Hassan Malik says, so they raising the same men they hate. Facts. John Doe is in the building, says, I'm supposed to help Lil Day Day with his homework in the living room while Pookie is in the bedroom blowing his mother's back out. Hard pass. Facts. Shout out to John Doe. Bam Bam Lynch says, I like to see if he can keep his composure with you. Should be interesting. Shout out to Reven Hayes. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, says Tan. You should have saw the Twitter yesterday, bro. The overwhelming majority were agreeing with Umar, and the ones with some sense were getting flamed. You reacting the same way I was to this. Really? Really? All right, we're going to kick it. We're going to have a conversation. Don't worry. Thank you for the super chat. Aaron says, white women called Dave Ramsey asking how she can be a better wife to her husband making $50,000. Black women telling dudes who came by her Birkin bag that they trash. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Reven says, and 100% of the women were on Umar's side. All of them. Of course they were. Of course they were. Of course they were. Why would they do anything different than what it is that he's enabling them to do? Aaron says, why would she change if nothing's her fault? Facts. Wade Talks is in the building. I appreciate you, Wade. John Doe says the black community used to discipline the kids in the community. Nowadays, if you tried that, you get cursed out and shot. Stop the cap, Umar. Dr. Reese says, I agree with what you're saying almost 100%, but I am a stepfather and I don't regret it. You're wrong, Dr. Reese. You're absolutely, positively wrong, Dr. Reese. Timeout says, what is Umar doing but talking and finessing people out of their money? Cough, cough, a school that never will be finished. Shout out to Timeout. I appreciate you. Real says they should have asked him about the boys in his school he's producing. Y'all, wow. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, Dr. Umar is spitting the biggest crock of shit I ever heard in a long time. I hope the young brothers learn a lesson from this. Also, Ace Boogie 92 is in the building, says, the book, Know Your Why, speaks on the difference between manipulation and inspiration. The lead with the bag crowd doesn't realize there will always be a bigger bag. Try leading with inspiration. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Craig G says, Anton, I know it's tough. I know it's tough. Listening to Umar, please get this interview for the people. My dad always said, lower your voice and strengthen your argument. Facts. My dad said the same thing. LLC is in the building, says true points in what Dr. Umar said, because all of the men rule and take full responsibility for the conditions that our people, fair or not. That's why our people get no respect, and you're wrong. And as a matter of fact, it can never be more wrong, because all you got to do is look at the white community and they getting destroyed. They're the whole reason why they started the men going your own way movement, including the red pill movement. That wasn't a black man thing. That was a white man thing. Black women joined white women over in the feminism movement, which is one of the reasons you see the downfall of America today. We only 13.6% of the population. That started with white. Y'all wrong. Y'all could never be more wrong. Don't worry about it. I'm going to break it down today. On the Anton Daniels channel. I promise you. I'm going to break it down tonight. Listen. Here's my final thoughts. Don't get finessed out of your bag. Don't let these women finesse y'all out of y'all bag. I showed y'all yesterday on Instagram, of all of the people, when I was telling the dude that he needed to cut his hair and he came through, he's literally still sending me emails today saying, thank you, my life has already completely changed in less than a week. The population and the demographic of people that is advocating for your own demise and does not have your best interest at heart. Don't do it. Don't fall victim to it. Don't get trapped into it. Don't let them sell you on it. Do not become a baby father. Do not continue to run in the victim Olympics. Don't put yourself under the guillotine. Don't find yourself under the thumb of the people that want to take you out and take your stuff and get half of what it is that you own. You are absolutely, positively better than your circumstance and the environment by which you put yourself in. For too long, the biggest thing that we need to be held accountable for is the fact that we keep getting finessed, keep getting convinced, keep being connived into the whole idea that somehow, some way, you need to be a white knight for the darkest of attitudes, the worst of the people, and the ones that absolutely positively would put your head on a spike and then prance around with it and laugh at it and then go back to the man that she was fucking in the first place. Y'all want to be absolutely real? I got you, Carrie. I'm going to read that shortly. Y'all want me to be absolutely real and transparent with y'all? Half of y'all in relationships don't even know that she fucking somebody else probably right now. If you had a Ring camera inside of your crib, if you could put a camera inside, and I'm not telling y'all what to do, if you could hear her conversations, if you knew that what she was doing to the dude on her lunch break, you would fucking throw your whole life away, bro. You would probably crash out. It's probably better that you don't even know because you probably have crashed the fuck out. A lot of these women that you in relationships with, you just never caught her. You never caught her. You never caught her, dog. You don't even realize that you already under the thumb. You under the 8 ball. Y'all remember that movie named Casino? It was a movie named Casino, and Ginger had got with Ace, but Lester, who was her boyfriend, was still pimping her out. And on their wedding day, Lester told Ginger, just take him for all that he got. Take him for all that he got. The only thing that I can hold you accountable for is being ignorant and not knowing based off of the woman that you chose to marry because you married with your eyes instead of marrying with your brain. You married with your eyes instead of marrying with your brain. Your inability to be able to see what it was that was ahead of you that was going to absolutely ruin your life. You have no clue what you're getting yourself into. No clue of what's facing you on the other end of that divorce court proceeding. And they want you. Think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute. Put it in perspective. She had a man. Y'all want me to give y'all the real? I know it's the Millionaire Morning Show. I really don't break it down to the point that I'm about to break it down. But I'm going to break it down all the way to the ground this time. She had a man. And do you know what that man did to her? Everything. Every single crack, crevice, hole. He sweated on her. He bust her down. He bust on her. She ate it. He spit in her mouth. He absolutely did everything that he can do to her. And then he planted a seed in her. And then when that seed grew to a certain size, the doctor extracted it from her. Sometimes the seed don't even want to come all the way out. And so they have to cut her open like aliens in order to get the seed out of her. And then that seed grew. It looked like him. It had his DNA. The nose, the mouth, the ears, the way his hair grow, the way he walk around. He keep going in the fucking refrigerator, eating all of the goddamn food that you go and trade your life and your time in for. And the expectation now is that that woman who she did everything to, I mean, yo, it was no limit to the amount of things that she opened herself up to. I mean, he did everything that you can possibly imagine. I mean, stuff that you haven't even thought of yet. And then he planted a seed in her. Now, after he planted a seed in her, somebody else came along and he did the same thing, except he did it worse. He did more to her. She told him, I love you. I will let you do anything to me. Anything you want, I will do. She turned over. Then she turned back over and she laid on her back and she put her legs up like she was about to have a baby. And he crawled in between her legs and he grinded on her. He put every single thing that he had into her. He hurt her. He broke everything in her. When she went to work the next day, she was sore, but she didn't have any more PTO days. And so she limped into work. It was in her. Even when she went and took a bath, she didn't even take a bath. She took a shower, but it was still up in her. It was still up in her. It was still in her. It's still in her. When she went to work the next day, it was still in her. It's still things that was in her that's from him, that's inside of her, because it's no way that she was going to be able to get all of it out. And then he planted another seed in her. And she's walking around with different seeds in her. And then you take a couple cherries and you put that on top of it. You know what the cherries are? It's student loan debt, inability to cook, not peaceful, not agreeable. And then you came along and you was her knight in shining armor. And she had no other options. She said, you know what? He didn't treat me right. Him downstairs. Him was mean to me. And you said, well, why do y'all break up? Why did your last relationship end? And she said, he was abusive mentally and we just grew apart. And I should have said something, but I didn't. And so you came along and you said, I'd be that baby pappy. I'd be that baby's pappy. And you're not even half the man that he was as far as what she gave him, because she gave him the best of her. All of her innocence died with the person that she was with. All of her virtue out the window. And you know what she told you? That she's a born-again virgin. As though we can put that genie back in the bottle. Okay, cool. You went for it. And because she put on this mask that she never took off, because she never showed you how nasty she really was, if you knew, then you probably wouldn't have ever went down that path in the first place. But you did it anyway. Cool. And you said that you were going to do the right thing, the godly thing, the saving the community. And so you became that baby's pappy. You became that baby's pappy. I'm breaking it down to you based off of the reality. I'm not going to give you any shortcuts. I'm not going to give you any outs. I'm going to tell you the absolute positive truth of what it is that you're facing in this society today. And you adopted the kid too. You made him yours. Gave him your last name. But you know what the interesting thing about that is? He's never going to be your son. He's never going to be your child. He never is going to have any of your DNA. If they trace his lineage back, it's not going to be back to you. It's going to be back to whoever it was that she gave her innocence and her virtue to in the first place. And that is the reality. And you're supposed to take ownership and accountability as a good man that went to school, took care of your business, made the right decisions, never got caught up in any mess, never got arrested, never did anything that was wrong. You're supposed to go and save the community after she did whatever it is that she wanted to do with who she wanted to do it with. Didn't have to take accountability and responsibility because Umar Johnson told you that it was your fault that you didn't go in, even though you made the right decisions to go in and fix the fucking community and marry a woman that never was supposed to be for you in the first place. That's your reality. This is what they're trying to convince you to do, and I won't let it happen. I will not let you go down this pathway into destruction. I will not let you become the sacrifice, the martyr for the community that don't give anything about you. But she deserved a good man, right? Only thing we trying to figure out, the same thing that we figuring out with the passport bros, is are you the sucker that's going to get left holding the bag when everybody else is laughing at you and pointing at you and saying, but I already done did it. I already done had her. And they singing a Ray J song, I hit it first. It's up to you. It's up to you. You want to go down this dark hole, or you want to have a reality check and you want to get the real game of how it is that we can really fix the community, because you can't save these little assholes out here. Park your car long enough, they're gonna put your shit on bricks and they're gonna strip it. I'm in Detroit right now. I have an office in Detroit. I know what these dudes is trying to do. I gotta check the security cameras every single time I leave out the door. And I'm in a great area. You know why? Because they look at me as food. They don't look at me as a mentor. I told y'all what the solution was a long time ago. Fuck them kids and fuck that woman, throw the baby out with the bathwater, and start all over. I'm no better than God. I'm no better than God. I'm no better than God. When the whole earth was wicked, he found one man and his family in order to continue to build the ark and just start all over. He wiped all of the motherfuckers out. He didn't go back and tell Noah, hey, you need to go out there and save these people. He said that these people are wicked and there are no fixing them, because they turn to the thing that's not best for them and they need to be held accountable, and we just going to start all the way the fuck over. Even when it comes to the New Testament, even when it comes to the way in which we live our lives today, because you can say Jesus, he sacrificed himself for people to have the opportunity, keyword opportunity, to be saved. But it's all an if-then statement, meaning that it's on condition. Everybody not going. Everybody is not going. The lake of fire enlargeth itself, and the path is narrow. But the way to hell is wide. Go over there and try to save them demons if you want to. It's up to you. It's up to you how you going to play this. You going to listen to doctor? You going to listen to the good doctor, or you going to listen to the real doctor? Make sure you tune into the Anton Daniels channel tonight. It's going to be fireworks. I can promise you that. It's going to be one of the greatest live streams that you've ever seen in your entire life. One of the greatest live streams that you've ever seen in your entire life. Let me read some of these. My girl Carrie says, keep it going. We need more invites on Umar's page. Carrie says, by the way, Anton, that video of the guy that cut his hair because of your combos was super powerful. Nice job. They fight me on that. I think that's at like 100 and 200,000 views or something right now. We gonna do the work. We gonna do the work. Listen, make sure y'all, shout out to my girl Carrie. Make sure that y'all tap into the live stream tonight on the Anton Daniels channel. It's going to be absolutely, positively one of the most incredible live streams that you've ever seen in your entire life. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that contributes over to the platform. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. And make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Thank you to the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley. 30% off your first order plus free gift. Till tonight.